This is Platinum Northwest TV News. Good evening and thank you so much for joining us. I'm Philadelphia Mangoeng. Let's take a look at the leading top stories. South Africans are urged not to panic over the Mpox emergency declaration, and COPE calls for an immediate job summit to address the unemployment crisis. In the business news, South African Development Bank aims to double renewable energy program, and in the sports news, Springbok coach makes a wholesome changes for the second test against the Wallabies. We begin here. The National Department of Health said that there is no need for the public to be concerned about the Mpox outbreak being declared a public emergency. This comes after the Africa Center for Disease Control and Prevention declared the outbreak a public health emergency on the continent. Health Department spokesperson Foster Mahale says the situation in the country is under control. He has, however, acknowledged that it can change at any given time. According to Mahale, the department will communicate as soon as it has discussed the implications of the announcement by the World Health Organization and the CDC. In other news, the unemployment statistics released by Stats South Africa yesterday are both alarming and depressing. The consistently high unemployment rate, which has increased by 0.6% to 33.5% in Q2 of 2024, represents a national crisis. What is particularly disheartening is the historical and disproportionate impact on rural African women who bear the brunt of the unemployment rate of 50.4%. Here's COPE Acting National Chairperson Phake Dikgetsi.
The release of the unemployment statistics by Statistics South Africa today is alarming and depressing. The unabating and consistently high unemployment numbers represent an epidemic of national crisis proportions. What is even more devastating is the historical, structural, and disproportionate impact on rural African women who consistently bear the brunt of unemployment. The youth of our country, the future leaders of our nation, are equally ravaged by the scourge. COPE calls for an urgent job summit to bring together stakeholders and find urgent solution to this crisis. It cannot be business as usual. No one should be left behind. We are sitting on a ticking time bomb.
In international news, Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida has announced that he will not seek re-election as the leader of the ruling Liberal Democratic Party in the next month's polls, in a decision that means that this country will also have a new prime minister. Speaking at news conference in Tokyo on Wednesday, Kishida said that it was time for a new face at the helm of the LDP and that he would fully support their leadership. Kishida was elected party president in September 2021 for a 3-year term and won the general election shortly afterwards. Kishida visited the US in April when the two countries announced a new era in cooperation. In July, Japan and the Philippines signed a defense pact allowing for the deployment of troops on each other's territory. And with that said, let's take a look now at the business news. In the business news, the Development Bank of Southern Africa plans to double the size of its program to finance renewable energy plant and is pressing ahead with the plans to help facilitate private investment in South Africa's national transmission grid. The Embedded Generation Investment Program, which is helping to finance plants that can produce 700 megawatts of power, aims to back facilities producing a total of 1,400 megawatts within 18 months. It's part of a drive by South Africa to build more power generation facilities to end an electricity shortage that has seen intermittent outages since 2008. In more business news, several prominent international brands will start operating in South Africa this year, with 4 new prominent companies in the lifestyle space setting up shop. Well-known British coffee chain Pret A Manger is coming to South Africa later this year. Private equity firm the Millard Group signed a deal with Pret for an exclusive license to operate Pret stores in Southern Africa. It is set to open in Johannesburg, with additional stores coming to other key cities such as Cape Town, Durban and and Pretoria. Other major companies coming to South Africa include UK-based JD Sports by late 2024, and in the luxury hotel space, hotel chain Hyde is set to open in Johannesburg next month. The new hotel will be based in Rosebank and will feature 131 guest rooms. And that's all from the business news. Up next, we wrap up with your sports. In rugby news, Springbok coach Rassie on Tuesday named his team to face the Wallabies in Perth in the second test of the Rugby Championship on Saturday. The Boks won the first clash between the nations in Brisbane 33-7 last weekend. Erasmus has opted to make wholesome changes to his team for the match, with Suleiman Murat captaining the team. Now, the starting 15 from the first match contained 836 test caps worth of experience, with that number plummeting now to 332 for this week. Changes were made at both the front and the back, with Apelele Fassi playing fullback, Lukhanyo Am coming in aside the center, and Makazole Mampimpi will wear jersey number 11. There is also a new front comprising of Thomas de Toy, Johan Grobbelaar and Jan Hendrik Wessels. Now, in all, there are 10 changes to the starting side that played last weekend. In the Olympic news, Team South Africa concluded the 2024 Paris Olympics with an impressive haul of 6 medals. Now, the South African Sports Confederation and Olympic Committee had announced financial incentives for the country's athletes prior to the Games, rewarding them for their performances on the global stage. Gold medal recipient and decorated swimmer Tatiana Smith clinched South Africa's only gold medal for the women's 100-meter breaststroke event, received 600,000 for winning both gold and silver. The men's 4x100-meter relay team, which included Akani Simbini, Bayanda Walaza, Bradley Nkwana and Sean Maswangai, received 75,000 each for winning silver. Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture Gayton McKenzie welcomed Walaza and Nkwana and had this to say.
It's my son, that's my son. So you must be proud. And you've turned out best that any mother would want. You know, the two of you are testament. The two of you are testament to, it's a barometer for us. Where you are going to end up, it will be our fault if you are not, if you're not getting gold in the next Olympics in LA. I don't want you to be distracted. I want you to be focused. And we will do our part. We will do our part because you have gotten silver with the little that SASCOC has managed to get together for you. Now, SASCOC and ASA and everybody else are going to get maximum support, particularly from us politicians. We are going to support our Olympians. We are going to find our Olympians. We are going to make sure that, and this is not just promises, we are starting today to unearth so many. We can't have 136 people going to the Olympics or 134. We are a great nation. We are 60 million people. We need to have one of the strongest, because we are a sporting nation. And we as politicians must admit that we could have done better, but we are going to do better.
Sorry for my voice, but this is probably what it means to carry the country on your back. I'm joking.
Literally.
I'm honestly, hello everyone, and thank you so much. Like, this welcoming has been mind-blowing. I think especially, I've only been to 2 Olympics, and Tokyo was obviously not the same. Coming back just because of the whole COVID situation. So for people to make time and really come out here, it really means a lot. I've never thought I would stand on the other side. It's always nice celebrating Springboks and everyone coming back with their medals, but being on the other side, experiencing it, it's really humbling, and I'm very, very grateful. It is a bittersweet pill to swallow that I am finished. This is probably maybe one of the last times I'll be wearing the green and gold. But yeah, just being able to walk out at the end of the Olympics with the flag, just what it meant of representing our country. It's had its challenges, and I think we all face it. And it's not a perfect world, but like she says, is that we are champions, and that even though the midst of what we are facing, that we still rise above, speaks a lot. And I think sometimes we don't give ourselves enough credit. I think especially when we walk into the rooms where you're standing in rooms with Americans and the people that have everything, we immediately put ourselves below, and we in a mindset of we're inferior to them. And I think we shouldn't be, and I think we came here to show you that we don't have to step into those rooms to feel that way, because we deserve it just as much as they do, and we can do it with the little that we have. So obviously we want to encourage that there is more done into sports, and that we get more people and more representation into the teams. It is definitely something important, and I'm grateful that I'm on the other side now as a retired athlete, and I'm here to have a voice for athletes as well. I like representing athletes. I don't like representing myself.
Meanwhile, Joanne van Dijk received 200,000 for winning silver for the women's javelin event, with the Springbok Sevens team being awarded 50,000 rand each for their bronze medals. And that's where we're going to have to leave it for tonight. Thank you so much for watching. The team will be back again tomorrow evening. Till then, good night and take care.